The Activision acquisition by Xbox last week absolutely shook the gaming community. It was huge, it was giant, and with that, I think Microsoft kind of changes their role in gaming overall. I think Xbox is about to, indeed already has, taken over as the thought leader in gaming, the leader in gaming, and this is kind of a new role for Microsoft in my opinion. For Xbox, in my opinion, sure, they've led in the past on things like Xbox Live, but have they really ever truly led as the leader in gaming, the innovator in gaming? I'm not sure that they have, and I think we're about to see that. I think that this is about to change forever, the way that not only we view Xbox as Xbox fans, but how the world views Xbox, how gaming in general views Xbox, and where we're about to go in gaming. I think we're about to go somewhere where we've never been. Indeed, I've said this before, gaming in the next 5 years is about to look completely different than it's looked in the previous 5 years. I think this is a pivotal point, a pivotal era in gaming, and I think Xbox is about to lead and become the leader, the go-to thought leader in the gaming space. We've got 2 articles today where we're going to go over that and talk about it and show how I believe we're seeing the beginning of this, especially with this Activision purchase by Xbox. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. I'm X1 the Gamer. This is the XoneBros. We got all things Xbox all the time. So let's take a look at the first story here over at Pure Xbox. Now, this is just a rumor, Apple poaching Xbox engineers to potentially make a video game console. And so what does this show in the world of leadership? In that people want Xbox engineers. People want people who have worked on Xbox. This happens all the time in the tech industry, but this is good. Now, this is just a rumor. This is a rumor from Jez Corden over at Windows Central on the Xbox 2 podcast. He said that Apple might be poaching Xbox engineers to make its own games console. He said he's been hearing this rumor for a while, although he admits the sourcing on the information isn't the best. And even if it's true, he doesn't know if Apple will still pursue the idea. Here's what he said. He says, I've been hearing for a while that Apple has been poaching Xbox engineers to make its own console. I've heard that for ages, that Apple was exploring making a video game console. And I don't know if it's going to be a VR play or a metaverse thing or something like that. He continues, quote, I don't know if it'll all come to fruition. I don't know if they've canceled it already, because Apple explores a ton of stuff. I don't have amazing sources on this. I have no documents. I have no photograph, but it's just something I've heard. And I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that Apple would at least explore jumping into the console game. There's so much money to be made there. What's interesting to me is that they are poaching Xbox engineers specifically in the news story. Now, no doubt they're poaching other console game engineers as well, but Xbox in particular, I think, has a unique aspect here. They've seen as been competing from behind. They did jump in very recently, considered all things being equal, you know, more recently than Nintendo or PlayStation jumped into the gaming space. And so there's an experience there of starting a new console from scratch. What does it take to be successful? Stuff like that I think if you are Apple and looking to jump into the console space, you want that knowledge, you want that experience, and you want that that as a part of your team. So stuff like this, I'm sure we're going to see more rumors like this. Does Apple jump into the console space or the gaming space altogether? They are in the mobile gaming space, no doubt about that, but into developing and publishing their own games. It will be very interesting to see. We know Apple's jumped in with their subscription gaming service, and that's gone pretty well for it so far, or for them so far in the mobile space. Do they jump into the mainstream gaming space regardless? I think this is one way that Xbox is going to play a leadership role in gaming. The other way is by actually driving innovation and forcing other companies to move and adjust. And I think that's what we're seeing with Activision here. And here's an article over at Tech Radar. And Tech Radar says PlayStation's Project Spartacus needs an overhaul to compete with Xbox Game Pass. And that's what this Activision purchase did. Everybody mocked Game Pass at first. Oh, you're taking away any need for me to buy your console. Well, that was the plan all along. You don't need to be on the console. Indeed, you can play on your phone, you can play on the PC, or you can buy a console. All 3 ways are acceptable. Game Pass is our focus, and this has proven out, I think, they've silenced a lot of critics, in other words. I think this is born to fruition. Here's what Tech Radar has to say. They say there's no point sugarcoating it. It's no longer enough for Sony to announce a straightforward service that allows users to download from an extended catalog of PlayStation games and be done with it. As Xbox's collection of gaming brands continues to grow, I firmly believe that the only way that Sony can come close to competing with Xbox Game Pass is if it includes PC support as part of its platform. So here we see, who is this writing this at Tech Radar? This is Ilyas. Ilyas is writing here, and I can't say his last name. I'm sorry, Ilyas. But he no longer believes it can just have this game library that you play on console. They must be moving to PC. We've seen PlayStation start to put some games on PC. God of War is there now. Horizon Zero Dawn is over there. And this to me is more indicative of how Xbox is playing that leadership role in innovation, forcing other companies like Sony to move and adjust to plans which I'm not sure that Sony was necessarily looking to do, but they're doing nonetheless. Indeed, right here, Ilyas believes that they need to do it, and I think he's absolutely correct. Let's finish off this article here from Tech Radar. He says one of the biggest selling points for the Xbox Game Pass is that it grants its users access to highly anticipated releases such as Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite immediately from day one. According to initial rumors regarding Sony's Game Pass rival, it seemed unlikely that the Japanese company would offer its subscribers day one access to the biggest PlayStation releases. However, Microsoft has since announced its intention to purchase Activision Blizzard, which likely threw a wrench in Sony's plans. In addition to day one access to new releases, Project Spartacus, which is the PlayStation, rumored to be the PlayStation subscription service, will still likely need to include PC support as part of its offering in order to compensate for a less impressive gaming library compared to Xbox Game Pass. Think about that, less impressive gaming library. It was just a few years ago, indeed it was just a year ago, in which, what games does Xbox have? Xbox has no games. Now we're to this point where they have so many games, it's no longer enough for Project Spartacus, for the Sony subscription service to just include its games. Their games are AAA gold dynasties. And that might not be enough. Not with a subscription service. That changes everything. It's difficult to gauge, he ends, just how likely Sony is to make its games accessible on PC. Still, it wouldn't be completely unexpected given how big name PlayStation titles such as God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Days Gone have already made their way to PC, and how many more are expected to follow suit, including Uncharted and Death Stranding Director's Cut. But even with that in mind, PlayStation's monumental task of catching up to Xbox Game Pass will be no easy feat. And that's the key. So I think Sony's Project Spartacus, and this is just conjecture, I don't know if this to be a fact, I'm not sure that they had a plan to also include a PC version of that. With this Activision thing, I think they have to. They have to do something in order to compete. And this is a new role for Xbox. I think Xbox is driving the gaming industry in ways that they never have been before. This is a prime example. It's always been, well, Xbox needs to get these big games that Sony's done. Look at what Sony's doing. That's the model. Xbox, you need to follow that. And this is the first time, I think, in my lifetime, granted, I've been alive the entire time Xbox has been here, so that's a foolish statement. But this is the first time in the Xbox's lifetime, that's what I meant to say, that we're now looking at Xbox and saying, Sony, this is what you need to do. That I'm not sure has ever been done before, and it's a new age, and I think Xbox is going to play a pivotal role in changing gaming forever. I think we're already seeing it. What do you guys think? Do you think Xbox's role in gaming is going to change? Has it changed, or is Sony still going to be the driver? Is Nintendo still going to be the driver, and Xbox always seen as the little kid internationally? I'm not sure that that's the case. I think it's the other. I think Xbox is going to be taken serious by a lot more gamers internationally, worldwide. Regardless, it's interesting. It's interesting to see. It's fun to be a part of. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you guys next time.